the Game Boy Advance SP was metal? Well, today we're gonna find out. Today we're building an all-metal Game Boy Advance SP. We're using this Cobalt SP as our donor today. And of course, the first thing we have to do is get the motherboard out of the old shell and then give it a little bit of a scrub down. The next thing we're gonna do is desolder the switch and get it out of there so we can clean inside where it makes contact. And now that it's nice and shiny again, we can go ahead and put it back in place. Now we can move on to prepping the shell. This shell comes in a couple different pieces. And of course, the first thing we're gonna do is install the new IPS screen in the top half. Unlike the original SP, the screws actually go on the top of the screen in this shell. And my favorite part about this shell is that it actually has a place for a USB-C port and a headphone jack. All you have to do is drop them in there, and then there's a little bracket that holds them both in place. We're gonna go ahead and get those dropped in, and we'll solder in the wires later. It's only 2 wires that we're gonna have to solder for the charging port, and then it's 4 wires for the headphone jack. Now we're gonna go ahead and drop in our buttons and get ready to lower in the motherboard. We need to connect the ribbon cable to the motherboard and then solder 1 wire to control the brightness. Now we can lower the motherboard into the shell and then secure it with the screw. We need to feed the wires for the headphone jack and the USB-C port in through the bottom of the shell. Then we can go ahead and start tightening the shell back down, and now we're ready to solder in the wires to the original port on the SP motherboard. This is going to give us audio out of our headphone jack and give us the ability to charge through that USB-C port. And the final thing we have to do after putting in the new battery is add the hinges. These all-metal Game Boy builds are some of my favorite ones to do, and with the USB-C charging and the headphone jack built in, it just gives it a really clean look overall. Be sure to let me know in the comments, what do you think about the all-metal Game Boy Advance SP?